Welcome back to another episode of FaceOff Around the Culture, your weekly HBCU band recap. I'm your host, Horatio.
My name's Manuel. How y'all doing this week?
Hey man, I'm excited. I'm excited back for another week. What week is this, man? We don't even know. Last week we just did a recap of Jackson State versus Mississippi Valley, so we didn't do a full episode. But I'm glad to be back, man. What do you think about this band week? We had some good matchups. What you thinking?
Woo! We had one battle I felt like was really fire and exciting, and the other one they played very well, and that's how I feel about it. They played very
Yeah.
well. It wasn't as exciting, but they got the job done.
Absolutely, man. So, with that being said, every week we have a topic that we want to, talk about, a theme that we want the episode to represent. This week's theme is BTA. Have you seen this? Have you seen this BTA phenomenon going on not only in the sports world but in the band world? Oh, you don't know?
Oh,
Oh, it's built to ass.
yes.
It's like a tap out. Like we made you, we really beat you down, and it's really the term of the athletic year 2024. And I wanted to incorporate this year before it got old and corny. But so basically, is your band winning indefinitely? Is your band winning with no doubt BTA style? All right, and that's what I was thinking about when I saw not this week's matchup necessarily. But I want to do also a shout out to the SEAC bands because
Okay.
I saw a great battle between Fort Valley and Albany State, bro. I'm telling you, I was like, this is not only it was last week. We didn't talk about it last week, but man, I'm like, yo, and I feel like Albany did put on a BTA type of performance. But yeah, so what do you think about that? Is your band winning in a knockout, drag out, indefinite style?
You have to, because if you look, it's one thing winning the band battle, right? But if you win the band battle, you leave out feeling like, well, we kind of won. We won, basically. That don't feel encouraging. That's not exciting. That don't make you happy. Like, yeah, we edged them out, especially if you felt like you were supposed to get a BTA moment. You
Right.
kind of sour. So it's always that extra moments. That's what you remember. Those are times where you 15 years, 10 years down the line, like you remember that year we came through? Yeah, we was on that. So
Right,
you
right.
really need those moments where you feel like you just dominant and you have those surges of confidence, those feeling the juice moments. All that is incorporated. So you have to win that way. Are you really
Def-
winning if you're not winning that way, especially if it's not super competitive?
yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Nobody wants to leave and be like, it was okay. You know what I'm saying? Like people, that's what you practice for. That's what you practice for. It's for those moments. So just how it carries over with athletics, and the difference between band and athletics is that there's a score. There's literally a score, and we're gonna get to later in our show where we have band rankings from ESPN. But
Mhm.
as far as you want the crowd, you want everybody to go, hey, this band put BTA on. All right, so that's our overall thing for today. So look, we really only got two battles this week. Because man, what's going on? All these bands are not traveling. How are we getting a lot of these swag schools like a Bethune or a FAMU, and they're not even traveling to like Bethune, they're traveling to Texas Southern. And these are battles that what I'm saying that we are missing. That what I'm saying. So how do you feel about that too? Like bands not traveling, especially in the swag, which is and it's so competitive.
I don't like it. I don't like it because we get so many matchups where we anticipate, we think it's gonna happen. Like I would have loved to see that FAMU Valley matchup this year. Didn't happen. I would have seen Bethune versus a slew of folks in the SWAC this year.
Right.
We not seeing them. I feel like it takes away. I understand that traveling with a band and commuting a band from one place to another can be quite expensive. But dang,
Very,
we
yeah.
gotta do something. We gotta do something.
Yeah.
We gotta do something because I think we can have a lot of great moments, things that people can hold on to. Remember, I think it can help with recruiting people, issuing your band into this new environment. And I think with the competitive nature that band culture is, having new opponents and seeing matchups you haven't seen before really brings the best out of your program because you have
Right.
to look to that, take that extra step to bring out that extra juice, to bring out that extra flavor, to attach on to a new crowd that has not seen you and is not as familiar with you.
Right,
So
right.
we need
Yeah.
some of the image of dog.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It really hurts your program. Not only like all
Hmm.
the high school kids in that area not seeing them, but you can't even get ready for your band is not used to getting ready for a different style of band that they're not used to. So it does hurt in that way. But yes, all right.
Hmm.
So like I said, we only had two battles like that this week. So where you want to start? Jack State with
We're gonna
Alabama,
go. We're
Alabama
gonna
State.
go UAP versus Southern first.
Yes,
We're
yeah.
gonna
Let's
knock
yeah.
that
Let's
out.
start with that. Let's start with that. First of all,
Yeah.
okay, we're talking about BTA, right? I want to say shout out to both of these bands that we didn't think that you don't think are going to win. Those bands this year have done a really really good job. Like for instance, UAPB in this battle did a really good job. I don't know where how you have it, but to me like
Yeah.
they did a really good job. And I know you've been talking about UAPB this year, but they really to me did what they were supposed to do in this battle. What do you think about the matchup starting off? I mean, I know you're a big fan of UAPB.
Hmm.
Southern hasn't really been that as like breathtaking this year. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, what was you thinking about just seeing this matchup?
So when I initially saw the matchup, I was like, well, I don't think UAPB is gonna win. I hope this is really entertaining and fun. We saw UAPB earlier this year versus Jackson State, where they had a energy and a playing level that was superior to what we've seen earlier in the season from them. So
Mhm.
I was like, are they going to go step even further versus Southern, or are they going to have one of those battles where you in this corner and Southern's playing really well and you're doing your style and you're just saying who's going to
Yeah,
be better at what they do? I
right.
feel like it was more so the latter with this battle. I felt
Mhm.
like both of these bands play very well to their strengths. I kind of like UAPB versus Jackson State better than this version I've seen this week.
Really?
But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think they executed a little bit better. But
Hmm.
I felt like that energy of wanting it or feeling like they can actually take the battle was more present versus them versus Jackson State rather than them versus Southern in this battle.
I feel.
Um, I think that Southern did really well. What I liked about Southern this week is they gave us some old new songs. Um, you didn't like it, but one thing I did like is that they executed really well. For the most part, they executed very well. I like their balance. I like how they executed. Between parts, melody was clear as a very clear sounding Southern band. Where I felt like they could improve on is these runs, man. Southern really this year in particular, when they've played these selections with heavy runs in them, these runs weren't very clean. For me, the big standout for that was the Earth, Wind, and Fire that they played this past
Yeah.
weekend.
Get away. Yeah.
Getaway. When you play Getaway, you look for that opening phrase to be
Yeah.
clean as a whistle. That's what
Right.
really gets it every time. So when that's you playing Getaway and that's not like very pristine, it kind of shows. Shout out to them doing the classics like I Remember. I always enjoy I Remember. That was their opening song this week. And they brought back Memoirs at the end, which we'll talk about. Like we always say, man, if you're gonna bring it back, you have to have that same type of energy and flair. There's a big difference, I feel as though, when you're trying to repeat a selection or bring that energy back from something from the past versus that raw feeling and excitement when it's fresh off the press, and you just gotta play it and you're anticipating what the crowd's gonna feel about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's kind of how I feel about Southern selections in this battle. But I
okay.
got my list. Let's run it down. So UAPB started off with, to me, strong. They started off playing Beyonce, Not a Girl, good energy. Southern came back with I Remember. Now the problem I like with I Remember is that the song is synonymous with the old band director. Remember him doing the whole thing on the field and jumping around or whatever. It's just like it doesn't still have that energy to me. So it's like it's hard to recreate that. So I feel like that was a song that's like a zero quarter type song. I don't feel like this was a song that needed to be played in the fifth because to me it just not it doesn't I don't know.
Hmm.
I just think that was good. So with UAPB coming back, they played a new song. They played "Mutt," which is like a popular TikTok song by Leon Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the arrangement was but I thought it was good because they're playing a new song. They started off strong. I'm like, to me, they were up in my eyes based on song selection. But I feel like they could have capitalized better with the arrangement. You can tell it's a new arrangement. They were just getting used to it. A great song choice. Southern, Get Away. I put the runs, right? Nothing else stood out to me after that round. A round I really liked, man. Southern playing Saturn by SZA. Trombones in that was very good. I mean, SZA puts up great songs for bands to play. UAPB came back. UAPB is playing a lot of current songs. I like bands that play current songs because you have to think about just the non-bedhead, just people who are just there just for the game. They don't necessarily, and they stand back for the fifth. They don't want to hear a bunch of like technical stuff if it doesn't fit all the time. And to me, the Getaway was that, and the I Remember was that. It just like to me, it didn't fit. But SZA Saturn was good. UAPB came back again with the heat. They came back with the song "You Got Potential," which is like a newer R&B type of song. Good UFOs, good mellows. That's something that you cannot say about UAPB. They have good UFOs. They have good low brass, other than tubas. Their tubas need to hop in the transporter. UAPB needs to do a better job with that. But and I think that this battle and the battle that we're about to talk about have the same understanding for me, which is these bands. It's going to be hard for a UAPB to get the double on Southern based on, just arrangement style and just mindset and creativity. Like UAPB does a good job at what they do, but it's hard to out create. When you have arrangers, it's hard to do that. So I feel like UAPB with a bigger band and a more of a style that is their own. Would be able to grow, but you can see that they're on that base level of being able to just go up against a Southern and hold their own. So to me, it's a win for them. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like this UAP band now they have main ingredients. They have the main ingredients now. For this band to have, in my opinion, to have taken a win over Southern, they will have to have some type of flair or style or like a swag to them to really emphasize these new songs that they're playing. Of course, you got the new selections, arrangements sound good on paper, but you gotta, when you're going up against Southern and you're a band of this caliber, you have to really lift that music off the paper and make it your own to really capitalize off it. And I don't think, I think that's asking a bit much for them, just even as they progress throughout this season alone. So I want to, first commend them on their growth this year. Period. I've been a big proponent of UAPB this year.
You caught it. No, you caught it.
That's what I do. Take it here.
Yeah. I really wasn't paying attention, but UAPB, man, like they did a really good job, and for what they did, like this is a really good showing for them. This is gonna get it for people. Like this is a really good showing for them. Like they didn't back down. It wasn't a super F. It was it was a good battle in my opinion.
What do you think about like a UAPB versus like an A&M?
Yeah, that would be good. Or UAPB, yeah, man. Like. I can't. Albany State, bro. I like Albany State, man. They sounded really good. I'm telling you, like it's a bunch of those. It's a bunch of those different like bands that are brewing up that are really really doing well. Anything else for UAPB and Southern? Or we can move on to.
No, man. I just wish Southern was a little bit more battle tested this year, so we can see more from them. But I liked it. It was just kind of one of those years where they didn't get many people visiting, and they didn't go out of way as much. So I don't think they, really opened up the book and repertoire this year. But shout out to both bands.
Definitely. Well, moving on. Now this battle, I absolutely loved. I love both of these battles this week, man. Jackson State versus Alabama State. First of all, can we just talk about the environment, bro? Alabama State has to be the best. I'm saying the best band environment for a fifth quarter battle. Give me a stadium that you think has a better environment for. Alabama State does well with bringing out like the fans that hate you. Man, I heard so much stuff just in the video. I wasn't there. Talking about Jackson State's water. What does the water have to do with the band? Why little small things that don't even matter. But it brings out that attitude. The attitude we were talking about last week with Jackson State, Mississippi Valley, and we were saying, why does Jackson State seem asleep right now? Like they're good, they sound good, but they sound like ready to go. This is what Jackson State needs. Jackson
Yeah,
State thrives in an environment where you're talking about them and their city, and it's like they thrive in that environment.
you do.
And Alabama State does a great job cultivating that environment. The people on the field, I'm telling you, it's a great environment. So
Yeah,
anytime that a top tier elite band can travel to Alabama State, it's going to be a great one, man. All the Southern ones, all the Jackson State ones are so fire. So give me the
yeah.
prediction of what you were thinking when you saw this matchup.
Oh, I'm thinking it's a movie, man. I'm thinking it's a movie. I
Yeah,
mean, shoot, I had no BS. I've been there. I experienced it every time. Shoot, since what 2014? Jackson State show up to Alabama State. It's a movie. So I was expecting a movie, man. And I think it's all the environment, got the people on the side, and they're not just like that on the fifth. No, it's
yeah,
the whole game, zero people yelling, talking, and you understand. You can hear them. You hear
all
it
right.
when you go down to the halftime. You're hearing it, so that's all brewing up and coming up towards the fifth. You lining up on the side. You about to do the opening to your show. You hearing them barking at you, talking to you crazy. Band directors hearing it. It's all of that is just brewing up even before the fifth, and then the acoustics, man. Something about you gotta play in a stadium where you're sitting low, like in a bowl, man. Those are my favorite stadiums, man. To be a viewer of, to play in, just when you're down in there in the bowl type, and the sound is like right there, and you
Yeah,
close proximity to, you get all of the energy just brewing up in that one spot. So my expectation was anything less than short of a movie.
all
One
right.
more thing about that is it's weird seeing it because the fans in that area is so like aggressive and on you, and then you look
Mhm.
at Alabama State and it's just like a completely different type of feel. It doesn't
Right.
feel as
Yeah.
intense. It don't feel as intense.
Yeah. I definitely feel it. And it's so crazy you bring it up too. Like thinking about stadiums that are built down. Like as a marcher, not even just people
Mhm.
listen. How many times is like the difference between going up the stadium and going down? Like being when you're at the top and you're going down. It is better when you're going down because
Mhm.
you know it's bouncing back at you. It's just a little bit more. The coops are a little bit better.
Mhm.
But okay, let's get into it. Jackson State started off with "Are You That Somebody?" Okay, I'd like to. Jackson State trumpets in this particular first song was a little bit off to me. I like that they're going for it, but sometimes we got to, you know what I'm saying, we got to make sure that the cutoffs are fair. But overall, great thing. Bama State returned very well with a song called "Writing on the Wall." I didn't put who wrote that, who song that is, but very good, very high energy. I'm like, this is gonna be a great battle. After the first round, I'm like, okay, I'm in it. Okay. Second song, Jack State win they bag. And see what I'm talking about, man. We were talking about playing call. Jack State knew from that song that Bama State played. Bama State is here to play. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not they win their bag, played Life by Casey and JoJo, which is probably my favorite song of the night. What are you thinking about this battle so far?
Man, coming out with the elite, I was like, okay, that was a little chess move right there. I was
Mhm.
like, that's gonna be hard to top. We talk about playing these songs that are very popular, these not as touched 90 songs. I
Right.
think it was a great move, and then Bama State really came out and showed. I expected a lot from Bama State this year, man.
Yeah.
Last time we seen Bama State was at home versus Valley, and they had a great performance. And we're seeing Jackson State coming off Valley when we felt like they had won, but it wasn't really convincing. They could have did more. And I'm feeling like where's Jackson State, where I definitely acknowledge you with the trumpet problem too, because I felt like
Mhm.
that part should have been the melodic line should have been so much more clear. But we have that energy and aggressiveness and presence that we're missing out. So I'm like
Mhm.
really tuned in. I had Jackson State up first round, and then when I heard Life, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we about to really turn the tides on this one. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Bama State came back with "Nice and Slow," which is hack. Sorry, it's a good song, but you're trying to get people to sing. You're trying like give me something that's a little more creative than that. And that's what I was talking about with the last battle is that it's going to be hard to really like. Now we're talking about being elite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a good theme last year. Yeah, y'all can play. Like
Yeah.
we got it. Y'all are good. But now, can we transition that into like make people feel something. They did a good job with Nice and Slow, though. I mean, Bama State really did a good song with every single, song that they did. Jack State played Bad Idea. And it shows you how to punch a band in the mouth after the ballad. I love when it's a ballad. 2 ballads. They play the ballad and then you do. And then the next song is, going for it. And that was the type of song in my bag. I thought that was good. Now, Bama State, good play calling. Gospel song, right? We said it on the podcast. So any round you do that, you pretty much win. They did the We Lift Our Hands in the Sanctuary, right? Which is a good song choice, right? Because it's a TikTok thing where they do the whole thing at the end where they cut it off. Yes, Lord, for the rest of our days, and they cut it off, and then they redo it and cut it off, right? So I thought that was good. They played it up, and that's my point, right? When you're going in with an elite band, you got to kind of pull out all this. You got to do something like that. For real, you do. Yeah. Because it gets the crowd of people who aren't there for band. You're like, hey, they're in it. You're giving them your energy. And that's what you want. Because Jackson State is going to say, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But we're going to really give it to you now. We're going to give something for you and your soul so that the instrument players can feel like, oh, damn, not only is the difficulty level is good, but they're selling it as well. They pulled out Players Ball by Outkast, right? Very creative song. Again, creative song. The difficulty level of it was great. What are you thinking about at this time in the battle?
So, Can't Boo God. So I'm like, man, Bama State coming out with pulling out all the stops already.
Yeah,
pulling out all the stops already.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, Players Ball was really good, though. I feel like it was the perfect thing for that moment because it did enough to it sucked the energy right back. So he was like, okay, you did that, modulated, cool. Now we're right back on. What Jackson State was really doing, I felt like, was really taking the energy back. Every time they play up to this point, they're like, okay, that was good. We're taking the energy back.
Right.
We taking the energy back. And I think after the gospel song, which I think was really good as far as crowd participation wise, I felt like Bama State did kind of phase out after the second or third modulation. So they started giving it up to me. They started giving it up, and then Jackson State ended up swallowing it back up and playing the Players Ball. Good execution, and they have Jackson State, man. They have these moments where when the intonation is good and the power's there and the blend is off the chain, it just opened up the sky, up the sky in a certain way. And I feel like they had one of those moments.
Yeah, and something I wish for the gospel song, and you can't boo God, but I am saying that I do wish the gospel song was a little more cranky. You don't have to elementary a gospel song down just because it's gonna be like hand clap type. It's give me a little bit more in the melody of it. And I'm gonna get to that point a little bit later after this part. Jack State played "Sticky" by Tyler the Creator, right? And this is where you lose it, right? And I'm not talking. I'm being real because you can't beat creativity when you have I'm an arranger at Jack State. But when you have an arranger that can take a song and make the song the style of the school, and then make up stuff that correlates with how the song is and however it is. When you have, and then it's writing for the actual students that are there, it's hard to beat that. You know what I'm saying? I listened to the song "Sticky" by Tyler the Creator, and I didn't hear any of this. I heard it, of course. But I'm like, this dude poured this out of his ass. He poured this song. He made it all up. And it made so much sense. It was so cranky. It sounded like that Kendrick Lamar song that they did back in the day, that was in 2021 or 2022. That was kind of and Baby King, that was kind of all over the place. And you'd be like, well, it kind of sounded like that. But that song got a lot of recognition because Tyler created about it. Saying that's why he wrote the song. That was, a big deal. Of course, bands love when the artists reach back out, you know what I'm saying? Because it's paying homage to the people, to the artists, and if they love their arrangement, that's even better. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that song in particular? But to me, that song is an example of how it's really hard to beat a band like Jackson based on their creativity.
Man, we talk about cranking, right, man? I feel like that song, you, they took cranking as it's a language, man. Just how
Right.
they open up, what?
Yeah.
Like that, just from that song, and they took that, it was just like, oh man, high brass was killing, energy
Mhm.
was going, had the good chromatic part in there that was cranking, very clean, put together, was very in tune. I was going all over the place with it. Had to change in when it had in the actual song would have the one that
Yeah.
was crazy
Right.
off the charts, and it even the presentation because they did the boom
Right.
into the
Right. Right.
song, so
Yeah.
that lets you know this is a moment we about
New
to
song.
create
Yeah.
a movie,
Right.
and it did just that. I ran it back like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really speaking, man. It was off the chain.
Yeah. Very, very creative. Very like great interpretation of the song.
Mm-hmm.
It made me go listen to the song. It was my first time hearing it after that. But yeah, man, that's where you and this is where it shows you Alabama State's next song was them playing "Scared of the Dark" into a mix of Nipsey Hussle, and that shows you right there. It shows you right there because Alabama State is trying to take an old song that "Scared of the Dark" is like a song that high schools play at this point. You know what I'm saying? And trying to like, oh, we got you, but did you? But do you hear the creativity that they just brought? It's like they're applying the pressure. You guys are like
Yeah.
trying to take it. And
Yeah.
this is what separates these bands. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, well, what will it take? Now I'm asking you, what will it take for a band like Alabama State to win? It's the same thing it would take for a band like UAPB to beat Southern. And it's that Alabama State has to start working in their own way, in their own like sound, because that's what this guy at Jackson State is doing with his arrangement. And so it has to come with an arrangement and a more of a creative mindset. What do you think?
hmm Because what Alabama State struggled to do was control and dictate this battle, which is a difficult thing to do when you're at home and you're playing second,
Right.
especially against a powerhouse band. I think Alabama State does a very good job playing Jackson State in Jackson. It is not even really as close when it's at home for them. So I
Right.
feel like just the environment, what the people want in that environment, and like the energy of the whole thing. Jackson State does a good job of encapsulating that. And Alabama State really tried. They gave you the gospel song.
Yep. They
They
gave
gave
you
you the gospel
the
song.
moment. They gave
They,
you
they
moment.
gave you the remix. They took your song. We about to crank up
Right.
on you. They pulling out all the tricks. And
Yeah.
when you just have, we got good melody, we got blend, and we sound good, and we are really intense with
Yeah.
good trumpets too.
Yeah.
In this environment, it's just hard to beat, man.
It's hard to
So
beat. And I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only
Go
way
ahead.
to win if you me is like you gotta play like flawless. You gotta
Right.
be like squeaky flawless.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the synergy that top level bands like a Jackson State, like a Southern, whatever, like that are on is going to be hard to get your nice and slow or your
Mm-hmm.
even your scared of the dark, which is like we're playing your song. It's like the song we just played, bro, is so much better than even that song. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's our old shit. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it shows you different mindsets. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about. How can these bands elevate? But I feel like with time goes on, like when I hear like Albany or UAPB or like these smaller bands that to me sound like, oh yeah, like I said, they have the ingredients now to be able to create their identity. Um, the band world is in good hands, man. We're really gonna start seeing a lot of bands crack the elite status. I feel like in the next
Mm-hmm.
2 3 years. But yeah, man. Anything else? Oh, and I also put you can see the same thing with the creativity in the Euphoria battle. So Alabama State play Euphoria, Jackson State play the back. We say on this podcast, if you know that your song is better if you play it back because you're putting the audience through two of the same
Mm-hmm.
songs. And that's kind of big. That's kind of ego. So your song has to be a lot better. And Jackson State was a lot better. You can tell based on the arrangement. Same song, different arrangement. Hit at different points. They were like the ups are really up, whereas Bama State was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Bama State, man. Fantastic job. Again, same thing with UAPB. Great job. This is one of the best songs I've seen against them especially for this year, man. Great job. I mean, anything else with this Jackson State and Alabama State?
Man, shout out. I think I like those two rap songs they played at the end, both bands. Jackson State played the Law and Order. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, State played
I love it by Glorilla. That was the last one.
Yeah, so I like both of those, and it just made for a good battle. This season needed this battle. This season needed this battle because we missed out on a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of pretty good battles, but we needed like what was 2024, and I feel like this gave me one of those. This was what 2024 was.
Yeah, it gave a lot of moments, and that's what we need. You know, especially you need moments for the non-band heads too, just to see what's going on, and that's how to create a sticky moment. Was a lot with the gospel song, everything. So shout out to Bama State, shout out to these bands, and yeah, man, let's get into some next week predictions. So you know how we do next week predictions. I'm just gonna say the battle. You say the school that you think is gonna win, and then we'll kind of discuss why, if we want to. North Carolina Central versus Delaware State. You gotta go Central. Howard University versus Morgan State.
Morgan.
Okay. I don't really like Morgan.
Is this at Morgan?
I'm not sure. You gonna go?
I'm hyped. Was it Saturday?
Go check out. Yeah, he's gonna be on the site. He's gonna be on site reporting live for FaceOff. Reporting live, and we need your analysis. Mississippi Valley versus Alabama A&M.
Oh,
this is gonna be good for A&M. A&M. This is the week that you crank it up. All right, this is the time we just going crazy because that Mississippi Valley, they're gonna do that, and I get ready for In the Ghetto. It's coming.
I'm taking Valley. I'm gonna take Valley too.
Oh, this is a good one. Texas versus UAPB. Now this is gonna be great. UAPB is ready. UAPB is ready. They just came from Southern. They let's go.
They should be beefed up. They should be ready for Texas Southern.
They should be ready. Jackson State versus Alcorn.
Oh, Jackson State.
This is gonna be a good one though. Arkansas is really good. I'm excited. Alcorn, we gotta get the book up, man. We gotta get the book up. I haven't really seen like a lot of their songs. I've seen a couple of them, but yeah, we need to get the book up. Prairie versus Alabama State. Alabama State.
Alabama State. That should be cake.
It should be. FAMU versus Bethune. Florida Classic is this weekend. FAMU is just more travel. You know what I'm saying? FAMU is going to do it. Also, too, I don't know who Jackson State plays this week, but they won the SWAC East Championships. I don't know who won the other one or who they're playing. But South Carolina State is the MEAC, and I'm going to the Celebration Bowl, which is December 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. So whoever they be playing, hopefully it's Jackson State. I get to see them. We'll report live there. But on the day before, ESPN has their Band of the Year rankings. So let's get into that. And I have a gripe with ESPN that I kind of want to get into. We have the graphic to show what bands are ranked. Okay. I'm going to tell you the whole problem with this list is that they only judge this based on field show. Hey, guys, it's not 1985, all right? These kids don't care about the field show. They care about marching. They care about the fifth quarter. They care about battling in the stands. So, to me, to just take that and be like, well, we're only going to judge these bands off of the field, to me, it's like, and these bands that they chose, A&T, FAMU, Virginia State, Florida Memorial, all the bands that they had last year. So it's like these are basically like the same bands that they had the same kind of spot. So to me, no way A&T is over Jackson State, over Norfolk State, over Bama State. If we're talking about in the stands, if we're talking about what people actually care about. Same thing with this other list, man. I just saw Albany State. Albany should be in the top 5. Are you for like Albany is way better than the, but see when you judge it off the field, it's like who's watching the field show? I'm sorry, nobody's excited to see a field show unless there's a big moment, a big theme, or something like that. So, what do you think about these rankings and just judging based off a field show?
I think they could do a good job of incorporating some type of stand element into the rankings, just because the growing part that the stands in the fifth quarter has importance to the culture is become more and more prominent and important every year. So I think ESPN would do a good job of getting ahead, even being out there as putting itself as the big proponent of the band of the year, incorporating the stand part to keep what they say, keep your ear to the streets.
Yeah,
Rather, I think they would do a good job of that and have it reflect more so in the rankings. If it's based off just off field, I'm enjoying these rankings so far. But I think we could do a better job of incorporating the stand element into that, just to really reflect on the different aspects of the culture and what people.
man, make it all stands. Nobody cares about the field, bro. Stop trying to be. See, that's why I hate with.
They trying to
This
make
been,
this.
this has been my beef with black band, like music people, like because we try to act like it's like, bro, we like the cranky stuff, bro. That's what we do. That is synonymous with our culture. So let that be the main thing. Yo, ESPN, next year we face off, we're gonna be included in helping with these things because that's the only way that we can ensure good, you know what I'm saying, journalistic integrity gets done. There's no way that Mississippi Valley is under Hampton. Like, who is they just choosing? Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all never watching videos? They're just going, "Oh, we're just going to choose them." Like, come on now. There's no bandhead that would put Bethune-Cookman at number 4. Bethune-Cookman has not had a good showing this year at all. But you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. But we need to have people that's honest about this. Same thing with this list on the right. All right. Winston should be up a little bit higher, in my opinion.
I agree with Winston.
Savannah State way lower. Tuskegee is pretty good. Fort Valley as well. Fort Valley, Albany. Yeah, like some of these bands need to be a lot higher than where they are. So yeah, next year we're gonna do the consulting.
Yeah.
So
have you seen some of the score break? I know they did like score breakdowns. They do like points. I looked on the website. Yeah. I don't think they show like the actual points for what I was seeing, but they show like the ranking within the let's say you got 15 bands in the category. They say this band is second or third here, or whatever, and then you get a whole breakdown. But looking at how it was broken down, I think just even based off what they're doing right now, we need to weigh it different. I don't think percussion should be weighed the same as full band like musicianship. That your flag shouldn't hold the same amount of weight as like full band playing. Like it can't work that way.
Are you saying that's why A&T get? I feel like the people at ESPN are with the A&T. It's like, I mean, I'm sorry, I went to A&T, I'm a man. But come on, man, let's be honest. There's no way A&T is beating Southern. It's beating they'll be FAM, they'll be Bethune. They'll go towards up with Norfolk, but they're not beating Southern, not beating Tennessee State, Alabama A&M. It's gonna be Bama State, no. Grambling, Texas Southern, no. You know what I'm saying? Like these are come on now. So like Virginia State it's the same way. So I don't know what they're judging off of, but again, next year ESPN is going to consult with us, and we're going to make sure that these rankings are good, and we can, you know what I'm saying, make sure that this event is actually accurate. But again, we appreciate it. But either way, this is great for the community. We have ESPN put on a whole event for it. So hopefully I'll be there. I'll definitely be down there that weekend. And maybe A&T will win again. Let's do it again. I mean, I'm excited. I love my school, but I want some of these rankings to be a little bit more accurate. Okay, guys. Well,
hold on.
What's up?
Breaking news, man. We found out what the SWAC championship is going to be, man.
What is it?
It's going to be Jackson versus Southern Part 2, man.
Really?
Jackson versus Southern Part 2, December 7th.
Well, there we go. Well, look, man. Well, you know, we'll definitely probably review that. That's going to be a good one. It's always good when you can get a good sneak battle in, like something that they weren't even expecting.
Would Southern win here change the dynamic of the season?
Yeah. Yeah, but they got to win in a BTA fashion. I'm glad you brought it right on back. They got to win in a BTA type of fashion, all right? And that is what the theme of this whole episode was. Can you win just in a majority, just a indefinite nature, all right? Are you putting BTA, all right, as the kids say? That's what we're here for, guys. We're here to BTA. No, not real. So, to answer your question, yes, but they're going to have to do it in a way that is synonymous, that is unanimous with everybody saying they did this. They would kind of have to embarrass them. And do I think it's going to happen? No. So either way, it's going to be a great matchup. But this has been a great week, man, and I'm excited to see what the band season holds for next week. But I want to say we appreciate you guys for checking out the show. Shout out to It's a FaceOff. You can follow It's a FaceOff on all social media as they are constantly throughout the week updating you on the best HBCU band news. Anything else? Anything else, man? How you feeling?
Man, appreciate y'all for coming out. Y'all, we'll see y'all next week. But happy Thanksgiving anyway. After everything went well, Shout out to y'all. Keep watching these bands and stop skating.
Absolutely. You might be a little too early. When is Thanksgiving?
Ain't it 2 weekends from now?
Yeah, I said we got a whole nother show.
We'll see you next week. Let's shoot, man.
We'll be back next week. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys. Definitely follow the brand, and we will see you guys next week.
All right.
Peace.